How it is, guys and gals? It's your boy Liam 2020, and I'm here with another film breakdown. Which no, I figured why not just do this one because we're tackling my favorite childhood movie, which is the original Cars, and because obviously this was my favorite childhood movie, but then over the years after I watched all the other Pixar films, it kind of dropped down to being just okay, and you'll be wondering, wait, why did it drop down to being just okay? Plus the fact that Cars, like they made the third Cars, that film is pretty much an insult. That Cars three's existence is an insult to this movie. Cars 2 kind of is an insult, but I mean, not really. I wouldn't say it is. It's just kind of like a shitty ass spin off that wasn't out. Okay. And this was actually celebrating 20 years of Pixar because this film came out in 2006. Pixar came out in first launched in 1986. Jesus. And yes, I can see I wanted to wear a red shirt for this, so I kind of match Lightning McQueen here, voiced by Owen Wilson. But basically, the film starts with Lightning kind of like saying speed, just kind of like as he's going flashbacks. And there's actually a mistake here. It's like, did the script have a typo that was never fixed? Because he says one winner, 42 losers, which means there are technically 43 cars counting him. However, there are actually only 36 racers. It's like, did they forget how many racers there were? Or the script have a typo that was never fixed. But then Lightning gets out of his trailer and enters the race, and we see pretty much just them racing, and then Daryl Cartrip and Bob Cutlass, voiced by actually those are their Cars counterparts, Daryl Waltrip and I'm gonna pull just a sec. That's why I have my computer here, so that way I can. I'm recording this on my computer so I can check everything. Okay, so Bob Costas as Bob Cutlass's human counterpart, but so then Lightning is basically one of the three leaders of the season alongside Chick Hicks, voiced by Michael Keaton, and Strip Weathers, aka the King, voiced by Kyle Petty. Is it Kyle? I think his. Yeah, let me check. Is he in here? Yeah, Richard Petty. I know Kyle was. It was Richard Petty. Kyle was Strip's nephew Cal in the third film, but basically, Lightning manages to shoot in front of Chick, and then Chick knocks him into an infield, and then Chick causes a big crash. It's like, whoa, Chick, you are a fucking cunt. Because both Chick and Lightning want the Danica sponsorship since the King is about to retire at the end of the season. So, but Lightning makes it to the crash and stays out on the track while everyone else goes into the pits. And Chick even realizes, he's like, damn it, my plan didn't work. And of course, Lightning is just kind of a twat a bit because he doesn't want to get tires. It's like, dude, just get a fucking tire change. What this is actually the reason of how this movie could have been, why this film has dropped down just okay, because, well, I mean, obviously that's a plot point because obviously on the final lap, Lightning's rear tires blow out, and then Chick and the King catch up to him, and they get in a three-way tie, or Lightning tries. I mean, somehow that actually counted with Lightning sticking his tongue out. Yeah, and of course, Lightning is just talking on with an interview, and his pit crew. He pisses off his own damn pit crew because apparently he even said he fired 3 crew chiefs. So then it's eventually announced that there's going to be a tiebreaker race between Lightning, Chick, and the King in California in 1 week. But yeah, and obviously Lightning's daydreaming about winning the Danica sponsorship while the King is talking to him. And then, because Lightning is just annoyed with the current company he's racing for, which is Rust-eze. It's like, fuck these rusty cars. I want something good. So then Lightning eventually sneaks in the trailer. Well, not technically sneaks, because he does get spotted by all the old rusty cars. And of course, as soon as he gets in the trailer, he's like, his smile disappears and they start heading for California. Get a little travel montage until Lightning gets a phone call. And he's so tempted to get that dream of his. Because that's really his lifelong dreams in this movie, is to get that Dynaco sponsorship at all costs. Well, I mean, he just wants it because he doesn't like Rusty's, but yeah. He's worried that if his driver Mac stops, Mac is voiced by John Ratzenberger, who's been pretty much every single Pixar film. The reason why Lightning doesn't want to stop is because he's worried that Chick will get to California first and steal Danico from him, because again, they both want the Danico sponsorship. And apparently Chick has been racing in the Piston Cup way longer than Lightning, because Lightning is actually in his first year in this film. Lightning says he'll stay up all night with Mac, but nope, he literally next scene, he falls asleep. And Mac's trying not to doze off when, yay, my favorite cars in the Cars franchise. The four tutors, Wingo, Snatrod, DJ, and Boost. They show up. DJ puts on Songbird by Kenny G. And then Mac falls asleep, which causes Lightning to fall out of his trailer. But Snatrod ends up sneezing, and Mac wakes up, and Lightning is lost looking for Mac, and he ends up chasing after a wrong fucking truck. And then he speeds toward a town called Radiator Springs. After a joke that goes nowhere with a Peterbilt. And then the Radiator Springs sheriff, voiced by Michael Wallace, starts chasing after him because technically they have speeding laws in this world. Unlike GTA where they don't. So that literally ends with Lightning entering Radiator Springs, and he pretty much trashes the entire town. And he's thrown in the impound. It's like, wow. It's like, okay, how did Lightning... It's like, why did Lightning get off the interstate to chase after someone that wasn't even Mac in the first place? What the heck? It's like, I mean, that's just how he gets to Radiator Springs, but eventually they find out Lightning is not in his trailer, and that he fell out. It's all over the news. Where Lightning wakes up in the impound is greeted by Tow Mater, voiced by Larry the Cable Guy. Now, I mean, Mater does have some pretty funny lines every here and there. I think Mater might have been my favorite Cars character. I'm not sure. So Lightning tries to trick Mater into releasing him, but he fails, and Mater takes Lightning to court, where Doc Hudson, voiced by Paul Newman, which I think was actually his last role before his death, because he died 2 years after this movie came out. Although they did reuse some recycled dialogue in the third movie. And Doc basically sends his Lightning to fix the road with this tar machine called Bessie. And then Lightning also meets Sally Coretta, voiced by Bonnie Hutt. I think that's her name, how you say it. And then Lightning tries to escape after Mater takes off the parking boot on his wheel, but runs out of gas, so he's forced to fix the road. And then while Lightning's paving the road, he wants to get out of there, even bragging about some random guys who come, random Van and Mini, two randoms who come into town. He wants to get the hell out of there. But then he hears on the radio that Chick actually did manage to reach California. Then he realizes, oh shit, Chick's about to get my Dynaco sponsorship. I gotta finish this road as fast as I can so I can get the fuck out of here. So then he literally just floors it with Bessie, going as fast as he can. And of course, the road ends up being a disaster. So Doc challenges Lightning to a race over at Willie's Butte. And of course, they need this to happen so Lightning can't even drive on dirt because he falls into a cactus patch. Mater pulls him out. So Lightning has to start over, and he's slowly but surely repaving the road, and also trying to practice a turn at Willie's Butte. While and also Doc is witnessing Lightning's fails and tries to insist him turn right to go left, basically turning him how to drift. I mean, Lightning's a bit hesitant at first. He's like, what an idiot. That's not going to work. But then Lightning decides, actually, you know what? I might try this move. So he turns right, literally goes right, falls off a cliff. And then a cactus falls on top of him because, of course, it does. Wow. That's just karma right there. Shit. So, of course, Lightning's paving the road when Luigi and Guido, Luigi voiced by Tony Shalhoub. How do you say that guy's name? And I think, what's the name? Oh, Guido Caroni is Guido. Shit. Wow. They try to offer him tires, but he declines, and then the fire truck Red just hoses off all the cacti on him. Sally offers him to stay at the Cozy Combe Motel, and he decides, sure. And then Mater shows up and asks, hey, want to go tractor tipping with me tonight? Well, he doesn't say it at first, and then Lightning says, sure, I'll do anything with you. And then Lily cuts it that night where they're at the field. They do tractor tipping until this combine named Frank shows up and chases Mater and Lightning out of there. It was kind of funny the way how they're fighting after Mater honks his horn. Mater only gets like one tractor, but when Lightning tries it, he gets all of them. Plus, Lightning says he doesn't even have a horn, so... Yeah, so anyway... and then we get some funny backwards driving from Mater. This is why Mater has some funny laughs, even though... It's like an overdose. That's why Cars 2 is probably so shitty, because it's overdosed with too much laughter. That's why you never take drugs. But then, eventually Lightning heads to sleep. And he has another dream where Frank shows up at the race. It's like, what? What's the point of this dream? Because there's no one else going to win the Danico sponsorship between you and Chick. And then Lightning ends up stumbling into Doc's garage after he meets him, after Doc tells him wait at Flo's V8 Cafe, which Flo is voiced by Jennifer Lewis. Lightning enters Doc's old garage and sees that Doc has won 3 piston cups before Doc shows up and is like, get the fuck out of here. So then Lightning drives over to Flo's, tries telling them. And Flo is like, have you ever even seen Doc race before? It's like, you guys literally watched him race with Lightning at Willie's Butte earlier in the film. It's like, come on. So then Sally refuels Lightning and takes him for a drive. It's like, okay. I think he was gonna... I don't know what he was gonna do because Sheriff had his sirens on in case Lightning tried to make another run for it. So then they drive up the Tailfin Pass where Sally explains the town's history to Lightning. It's like, oh, this is kind of a nice story. And some more shenanigans when they head back to Radiator Springs where all the tractors show up. Got some email. And Lightning literally watches Doc race around Willie's Butte again. But, yeah. I mean, that third dream sequence with Frank was kind of pointless. So there is some stuff that's kind of pointless in this film that, watching it now, it's like, yeah, that wasn't really necessary. But I think actually Lightning finding out that Doc used to race in the Piston Cup was plot convenient. But it's just one of these stories where it's like kind of lenient, where he's like trying to adapt. But then, while everyone is asleep, Lightning finishes the rest of the road after Doc tells him that, hey, I didn't quit the Piston Cup. They fired me after I got in this huge wreck, which Lightning realizes, oh, that's why. because Doc raced in the Piston Cup like decades before Lightning did, which they explained in 3 as well. But anyways, they find out that the road has been finished, and Lightning decides. Well, Lightning kind of just shows up out of thin air because he was nowhere to be seen. Because Lightning even told Mater that he needed that this race was so important when Mater asked him, "Why is this race of yours so important anyway?" This was in the 19 after tracker tipping, and Lightning says, "This is the Piston Cup race. I want to be the first. My dream is to be the first rookie in history to win a Piston Cup and get a new sponsor. No more rusty old cars." Mater's like, "What's wrong with rusty old cars?" But then Lightning tells him, "Oh no, don't worry, you're cool. You're." So then Lightning goes around, buys tires from Luigi, and then he gets some of Fillmore's organic fuel. Fillmore is voiced by George Carlin. Sarge, he gets night vision goggles. Sarge voiced by Paul Dooley. Lizzie, voiced by Catherine Helmond. Sarge is a Jeep. Fillmore is a Volkswagen bus. Lightning, I don't know what type of car Lightning is, but then Lightning heads to Ramon's house of body art. Ramon, voiced by Cheech Martin, a Chevrolet Impala lowrider, which he has different paint jobs. Like, he starts with purple with flames, then in another scene he's green, then he goes yellow, and then in this scene he's red. And Flo is a 1957 General Motors Motorama show car. What type of car is... I don't know what type of car... Sally's a 2002 1996 series Porsche 911. Not referencing 9/11 terrorist attacks. That's literally what it says here on Wikipedia. But then they have a dance party after Lightning gets his paint job from Ramon, and then until all the Piston Cup press show up and get Lightning out of there. Well, they kind of do. Well, he tries to say goodbye to everybody, but was mobbed by everyone. And on the way out, Corey Turbowitz, who actually interviewed Lightning earlier in the film after the first race, finds Doc and thanks him for the call. And Sally's like, "What the fuck? You were the one who called them?" And everyone's sad that Lightning's out. And they turn off all their neon, but then Doc just sits there thinking. He's like, wait. Because also we find out that Chick was getting mobbed when it cuts to the race. He was getting mobbed by all of Lightning's fans, and then they say the entire country's been shut down for the race. It's like, why would you shut down the entire country? Like, what the hell? It's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure there's NASCAR races on TV. I don't know if it has something like this in NASCAR history, which that's what the Piston Cup is based off of, but I'm pretty sure a mall would still be open. And Lightning's still dreaming, but then he thinks of the Radiator Springs Townies, and Mac is there to fill up his pit crew because the old Rusty's pit crew was not there because they quit. And of course, Lightning has trouble racing as soon as he gets in because he's literally falling behind the King and Chick. He can't stop thinking about the fun times he had at Radiator Springs until the Radiator Springs Townies, aside from Red, Lizzie, and Fire Truck Red, alongside Sally and Lizzie, they stayed back to watch the race on TV, but the rest of the townies show up alongside Doc as his crew chief, and he's wearing his Hudson Hornet decals from when he was racing. And everyone notices, they're like, holy fuck, it's the Hudson Hornet. So then, of course, Chick is just being a total asshole. Because then, basically first he knocks Lightning back, Lightning drives backwards in front of him, and then Chick blows out his tire. It's like, what the hell, dude? Why did I even think, I thought Chick was a decent villain, but jeez, this guy is a literal fucking cunt. So then Lightning eventually gets his tires fixed. And this was also kind of funny when Chick's pitties have their fake mustaches fall off because Chick actually kind of has like a mustache. And plus, Mater even kind of blinded two of them when he says "Ka-chow" after he sees Lightning drive backwards. So then Lightning got lapped a bunch of times, so that's why it doesn't count as him getting back in the lead. But then Chick pushes Lightning to the infield. He drifts in the first place. It's like, yeah, he's about to win that Dynaco sponsorship of his. But then Chick decides to be an even bigger asshole because apparently the king was trying to keep Chick away from Lightning. He performs a pit maneuver on the king, causing him to fly into the damn infield. And Lightning even witnesses that. He's like, oh shit, that's it. What happened to Doc? And then he literally slams on his brakes. And now CinemaSins says that what Lightning could have done was he could have crossed the finish line, go back, push the king over. But it's like, would that even work? Because obviously he just stops there and lets Chick get the win before going back and pushing the king over. Which there was actually, I did get a 2009 2-pack that had the damaged version of the king, which they actually just re-released that in 2022 diecast line. And alongside Lightning, and the image was when Lightning was pushing the king. It's like, yo, that's some good sportsmanship there, my dude. It's like, so he's kind of turning down his Dynaco sponsorship dream just so he can help the king, but I mean, that's good sportsmanship right there. Obviously, do that if you witness somebody get injured in a track and field event or race. But well, I never took track and field in high school or middle school, but I would probably do that if I saw someone if a guy sprained his ankle or he ended up breaking his leg or something. But it'd be kind of hard to carry him though. So of course the crowd is praising Lightning for his good sportsmanship, which Chick does get the Piston Cup because he technically did win the race. But then he ends up getting booed off the stage for being for being a millennial fuckwad. So this is where the film really drops down to being just okay. Right here, that's all the stuff. Like, obviously there are some scenes where it's like, that wasn't really necessary to be in there, but so Tex Dynaco, who's the owner of Dynaco, he ends up asking Lightning, hey, you want that Dynaco sponsorship because in the reward for your good sportsmanship? Obviously, he's not going to give it to Chick for being a foul player. And then Lightning decides, no, I'm going to stick with Rusty's. It's like, dude, you hated the Rusty's sponsor. You hated those Rusty's guys. This was your dream to become the Dynaco sponsorship during the beginning of the movie. You should have said, yes, I'm going to become the new face of Dynaco. What? I mean, that's probably would have been better. Lightning actually takes the Dynaco sponsorship. That would probably boost it up to being, good, or I don't know. Or Lightning gets the Dynaco sponsorship as its lifelong dream. Or, I mean, someone's probably going to say that in the comments. Well, Liam, that the film needs this. So it's probably going to be like how I always say Uncharted 4 would be better if Hector Alcazar were true and he showed up at the end with his mob. But Lightning still gives Mater a helicopter ride because Mater always wanted to ride in a helicopter. But, yeah. So then Lightning decides he's going to stay in Radiator Springs to get it popular again. And this makes me wonder, where did Lightning live before he met the Radiator Springs townies? So then, yeah, Lightning stuck with Rusty's instead of opposed to taking Dynaco, which was his lifelong dream. And Sally still likes him. So then we get the epilogue where it's like Lightning sets up a museum, and the tuners even show up in town. They're throwing the impound, similar to what happened with Lightning earlier in the film, and they get splashed with tar by Bessie. And we even get a few other jokes at the end where it's like they're doing car versions of doing car versions of the Pixar films that came before this one. Like there's a car version of Toy Story, a car version of Monsters Inc., and a car version of A Bug's Life. Which, yeah, that's why this film is just okay. It's kind of like really just ripping stuff. It's like, ooh, you don't need your lifelong dream. It's like, well, some people would really like to do that stuff, which, yeah, that's why this film has just dropped down to being just an okay movie because a few pointless things that don't really make sense. And Lightning not taking his lifelong dream of becoming the new face of Danico when it was offered to him, even though it was his lifelong dream since the beginning of the film. But at least Lightning learned to be a good sport, so there's that. He's become a good sport, and he's really helped people, and not just himself. That's really Lightning's transformation throughout the whole film, but yeah, that's why it's just okay. But that's all it is. That's all there is for this movie. And let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think this film is just okay, or do you think it's good, or do you think it's just really shitty? Or yeah, that's basically all. So please like, sub, and peace.